in this video, we will learn about handling form data in Express.js using body parser middleware. Okay, so when working with forms in an Express.js application, we need to parse the incoming form data to process it. Okay, and the body parser, it is now a part of Express.js. It makes it easy to handle form submissions by parsing the incoming request bodies. Okay, and body parser is a middleware that parses incoming request bodies, making the data accessible in req.body. Okay, so let's discuss it with some basic example. So firstly, we will import the required modules. Import the modules. So how we import? Const express is equals to require express. Okay, now we need body parser. Why we need body parser? Because this is a middleware to parse the incoming request bodies. Okay, because when we submit the form, we need to parse that data so that we can use that data in our web page. Okay, so firstly we need to install body parser, npm I body parser. Then we can require it. Const body parser is equals to require body parser. Okay, so this is the middleware to parse incoming request bodies. Okay, so next step is to initialize the Express application. Initialize the Express application. How we initialize it? We use const app is equals to express. We makes a instance of Express application. Now we need to use the middleware. Okay, so whenever we submit the form, okay, so we use body parser dot URL encoded because the data is in URL encoded form. Middleware to parse form data. Okay, middleware to parse form data. Okay, so we will use app.use body parser dot URL encoded extended. We will make it true. Okay, so what we have done is we are using the middleware. We are using the middleware and we are using body parser dot URL encoded. So if we have HTML form that sends data via the post method, we need to parse that data in our Express application. Okay, and when the HTML form is submitted, okay, so the data will be sent in the URL. Okay, so data will be sent in the URL encoded format because the method post is the default content type for the form submission. And wait, this application slash x www form URL encoded. It is the default format when data is sent in the URL. Okay, so now what if the data is in the JSON format? Okay, so we need to use some other middleware to parse JSON data. This is needed when the form data is sent in the JSON formatted data. This is used when client sends JSON formatted data. So what we need to use then? We will use app.use body-parser.json. Okay. This body-parser.json, this middleware is used when client sends the data in JSON format. So now we will create a route to handle get request. Okay. App.get request response. Okay. So here what we need to do, we need to send a HTML form. Send an HTML form. We need to send an HTML form to the client when they visit the root URL. So on the root URL, an HTML form will be received to the client. Okay. So res.send. Here what we need to do, we need to create a HTML form. Okay. So let's say form/form. We will create a HTML form. Here the action will be, let's say action will be submit. Okay. And method will be post. So here what we need to add, suppose label for equals to name. Name. We will mention name. Okay. We will mention name and age. Okay. Input type will be text. Okay. Name is equals to name. This is for the input. Similarly, we can make it for age. Name and age. The form will have name and age. To age. Type of age will be number. Okay. And at the end, we will have button to submit the form. Button type is equals to submit. Button. Okay. Now we will close the form tag. Okay. So the form tag is closed now. Okay. So now what we need to do, we need to handle the post requests to the submit button. We will create a route to handle post request to submit button. Submit. Okay. So app.submit, app.post. the path will be hash submit slash submit request response. So we need to access the form data from request.body. We need to access form data. Whatever the user will send in the form, we need to access that form data. So we need to access using req.body. So form contains the name and age, name, age. So how we will access it? Access req.body. This is how we can access it. So once we have accessed, we need to respond back with the received data. We need to give confirmation to the client, to the user, like we have received the name and age. Respond back with the received data. Okay, so we will send res.send received name is, it will be name and age is age. Okay, now we need to start the server. So how to start the server? Start server. App.listen. Let's say we need to start at 3000. We will console it. Server is listening on HTTP localhost 3000. Okay, so what we have done is, firstly we have imported the Express module. Okay, we have to create a web server, and we have imported body parser to parse the incoming request data, and we have set the middlewares. So body-parser.url-encoded extended true. It passes form data encoded in application slash xww form URL encoded format, which is the default for HTML forms. Okay, so now if the request data is in JSON format, we need to use app.use body-parser.json middleware when client sends the JSON formatted data. Okay, so then we have created a route on the route path, and here we have created a HTML form. A simple form is sent to the client when they visit the route URL. Okay, and the form contains the name and age field, and when the user clicks on the submit button, this data will be sent to the URL. Okay, and to handle the form submission, the slash submit route receives the form data. Okay, when we click on the submit button, this slash submit will be called. Okay, and the method will be post. So it comes here, and here we can access the name and age using req.body, request.body. Request.body contains the past form data, name and age. Okay, and we will respond back with the received data to the user. So let's run it in the run the server. Okay, so server is listening on port 3000. Let's go here. Okay, we have got name and age. Suppose we name is Ram and age is 22. If we do submit, okay, so we have received name is Ram and age is 22, and the URL changes to submit. This is why, because whenever user clicks on the submit button, the method will be post, and this slash submit path will be called. Whenever it is called, the request comes here, and we can access the name and age from req.body. So the user will get the response as received name is Ram and age is 22. Okay. So this is all about Express form handling. And guys, I'm sharing my GitHub repository link in the description, so you can get the code from there.